back. Before we went to our ad break, we actually delved into the upcoming changes in South Africa's retirement system. Now, Team fam, we will be introducing Jabu, who is a fictional character that we have created to better understand what this actually means for our viewers. Now, Phil Le Feuvre from SARA is still with us on our yellow couches. And Phil, let's say we have Jabu. He's around 40 years old, works hard at a mechanic shop, and he's earning about 7,000 rands a month. Like many of us, Jabu juggles daily expenses while trying to save for his future. How will this new two-pot system then impact Jabu and others like him?
Okay, so similar people would be probably putting about 600 to 700 rand a month to their retirement fund at this sort of level, of which 200 would go into his savings pot and 400 would go into his retirement pot. That would give him a savings of 2,500 rand per annum plus interest and dividends. But the interesting thing here is that we've got two different types of scenarios from an investment point of view. The savings pot is obviously going to be accessible, whereas the retirement pot, what we want to try to achieve there is to get an inflation plus 3 or 4% over the next 20 years or 25 years to make a meaningful difference to his income at retirement. So from my point of view, I would say that he doesn't necessarily mean he shouldn't access just because he can.
Okay.
So he should take advice. He should also save other monies which would not be taxed at the same sort of rate.
And will better assist him in situations of
So
emergency.
if he could, he should look to save about 15%. Okay. So that means he would then save another 600 rand over the 200 rand that he's saving, put it into a savings deposit with the bank or something like that, and basically use his savings in the retirement fund, in the savings pot, or emergencies.
Okay. There's also another aspect of retirement funds that I don't think a lot of people then tend to talk about, right? There's the idea of your lump sum that you will get, and then there's the idea of an annuity that you will also be able to build within that retirement fund. How then will that work then in this new two-pot system?
Okay, depending on what fund you were in, whether it was a provident fund or a retirement fund, you would still have access to your vested pot, and that would continue to grow over the next 20-25 years in this particular example. The retirement pot of from 1st of September would only be accessible, as you say, 1/3 cash, 2/3 into an annuity. So this is ensuring that members in the future will have a definite income at retirement.
And will there then be still restrictions and limits then to the annuity with the consideration of the savings pot?
No, that will not have. There's no limit on what you can actually have from an annuity. But that amount, remember, only the first 550,000 is tax free, and then the balance would be taxed when you receive it every month as a pension.
Okay, that makes sense. We've got a question that's come through from one of our viewers. They're actually asking, what happens to those who are actually about to retire? Will they get the lump sum?
Okay, so luckily the legislators have looked at this, and they have said anybody from 55 and above can actually opt for the existing system, or they can opt into the new system. So how would the new system then work for them? If I'm about to retire, maybe in the month of September or in November, say, how would that system then work for me? I would advise you to stay with your existing system and work within this existing regulations. If you are, say, 5 years away or 10 years away, then there may be a factor that could actually, you could put some of your monies or all of your monies into the new system in order to make it that you didn't want to take it all and you wanted to annuitize the 2/3. But you can do that anyway, so it wouldn't make sense for you to actually move across.
Let's then talk about this new system and how it then will affect, in the case, someone that is planning that has a retirement plan for different age groups, right? From young professionals to probably those that are nearing retirement. What are the benefits for those that are still young professionals saving towards retirement and those that are somewhat nearing retirement?
See, I think that the younger members are going to be better off in the long run.
Sure.
Because at the moment we have a situation where 60% of people that actually move jobs take the cash. And that has a long-term effect on their ability to create retirement capital and hence retirement income. So, and we've seen this in our stats. Even millennials and Gen Zs, they actually are taking the cash at the moment. So this will force them to keep 2/3 for their retirement.
So but a lot of the time, I think when they are then taking the cash, it's mostly because maybe there's a business idea that they want to fund, or they actually like then doing other stuff with that money that is still going to, you know, yield financial results at the end, or benefits at the end. So I guess then with this two-pot system, then they would rather take from the savings as opposed to the lump sum.
And I think that's where the forced savings come in, and I think it will benefit them in the long term, because they will definitely have monies to actually retire on.
Oh, I think that works really well. We've got a voice note that's come through from one of our viewers. Let's roll it.
We are happy for this, but this money is too little, because if they are taking this 30,000 for our savings and still must be taxed, why must it be taxed? Because when we are working now, we are taxing more than 4,000, 5,000, we are taxed. And also when we get a little portion of money, why can't you get and access our 30,000 once off? At least it will make a difference to our lives.
How do we respond to a person that has a grievance like that?
Unfortunately, the amount which has gone into her pension has gone in tax-free.
Yes,
perhaps she's not aware of that, but it has gone in tax-free.
Yes.
And that's why the government and SARS say, no, if you don't use this for what it's actually intended, which is a retirement fund,
we will tax you for it.
We will tax you because you've actually received tax relief when the money went in.
Ooh, that's a bitter pill to swallow. It's a tough one to swallow.
And I think it's part of the education that we need to actually get out there and tell people and answer questions like this over the next couple of months so that people don't get a shock.
Yeah, because I think right now there is that shock, right? You said earlier on that it's just a once-off in a tax year that you will be able to withdraw. So I can't, for instance, from that 30,000 that is in my savings, withdraw a 5,000 today and a 10,000 3 months down the line.
No, you can't.
Wow.
It's once off. Can you imagine now we have a situation where we're anticipating, and we've listened to the big insurance companies and the retirement funds, they are anticipating it's gone up from 30% to 60% of members are going to access their savings. So when you think we've got 7 million people on pension funds, that's 4.6 million people are going to be accessing from September onwards.
Yeah, that is true. So
and that's
some
where
regulations are necessary.
we need to actually, say, if you don't need the money, don't take it. And you can accumulate it, because remember, if you've in this situation with the 300,000 going into 30,000 seeding, you can also take it in the new tax year. But what you can do, answering your other question, is remember, because it is per tax year, you could take some in February and you could take some in March.
In March, because the tax year. I guess then we'd have to think about it in that way, right?
And that's why you need to take advice as well.
That is very true. That is very true, because we tend to neglect those things that could actually work to our advantage.
Correct.
We've got another voice note that's come through from our viewers. Let's roll it.
Just want to understand the vested pot and retirement pot, because I don't know whether I got it right or wrong. My understanding was that on the vested pot they put all the money, the pension that I've been working for all these years, and on retirement pot I start afresh. So I want to understand, I want to get clarity on that, and that when you retire, do you access all the money? Are they going to give you your lump sum from the retirement pot and the vested pot, or how are they going to do it? Thank you.
How do we respond to that?
So you're actually correct in your assumption there, that your vested pot up until the 1st of September is added to your retirement pot when you retire. And everything comes into account in the terms of tax-free amount and the 2/3 annuity. But if you have been, say, for example, in a provident fund vested pot up until now, you will still have access to the lump sum.
Okay.
And pay the tax accordingly.
Okay.
You will still have access to the lump sum. It won't be annuitized.
Okay. But if you didn't have
But if you were in a pension fund,
okay,
then you will still form the same annuitization after you've taken your 1/3.
This needs more education, Phil. This
does.
needs a whole lot more education. But I think we need to have you back in studio. I think also just get more, concerns and questions from our audience, and then get you back and help them answer some of their concerns and needs when it comes to understanding this new retirement system. Thank you so much for your time today. We really appreciate your contribution, and I think, you've actually given us reason to think about how we are actually navigating our retirement. Alrighty, TMS family. So whether you're starting your career or nearing retirement, understanding the nuances of this two-pot system and leveraging expert guidance can actually significantly impact your financial future. So remember, TMS as an effective retirement planning isn't just about today, it's about securing a stable tomorrow. And these are things that we actually need to start thinking about. As mentioned earlier on, we will try to get Phil back into studio, so you are welcome to still send through your questions regarding retirement on our WhatsApp line. And then, of course, once we've gathered all that information, we'll get Phil back into studio, and then we will have like a proper, breakdown of how things should work, and your questions, of course, being answered. Stay with us. We'll be right back.